All right, well, good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a good Sunday. I'm Midnight Team Meteorologist Corey Smith. They're going live here on our website and on YouTube just because we've had our show canceled due to golf, but a lot to talk about here in the forecast. So I wanted to get that information out to you guys. Let's start off locally, though. We've been dealing with some thunderstorm activity. We've got in the middle 90s today. We're still waiting for that official information in from the National Weather Service, but overall warmer than where we are typically for this time of the year, and that's resulted in plenty of thunderstorms. You can see across the viewing area from Saluda to Newberry counties, some moderate rain with some lightning, heavy rain just south of Lexington towards Red Bank and South Congaree. We're seeing some pretty heavy precipitation and lightning. Thankfully, nothing severe right now, but definitely some ponding on the roadways will be expected with these storms. And you can see they continue out east over portions of Columbia, Hopkins, towards Dalzell and Sumter, Rembert, out towards Lee County as well, just south of Ashwood, where we're seeing some pretty heavy precipitation, even in Clarendon County now. But thankfully, no severe weather. That's really the big thing, just your afternoon thunderstorms that are pretty typical for this time of the year. And that looks to be the case for the next couple days. Thunderstorms sticking around and also a lot going on in the tropics. So let's switch over to that, talk about what we can expect as we go into this upcoming work week. Hurricane Franklin, a Category 2 storm with winds of 100 miles per hour. And this is expected to become a Category 4 storm off the east coast of the U.S. It's expected to stay out at sea. But as you get towards Monday, we could see some rip current concerns, I think, along the east coast, including Florida, South Carolina, and North Carolina, with this large storm out at sea. So something we'll keep an eye on, I think, for our beaches as we go into tomorrow. But of course, the big talk that we're going to be talking over the next couple of days is Tropical Storm Idalia, which you can see is off the Yucatan Peninsula here, and it currently has winds of 40 miles per hour, so a weak tropical storm right now, but it's still out at sea meandering in the same general vicinity that we've seen over the last 24 hours. The latest track for the National Hurricane Center now has it moving north into the Gulf of Mexico, becoming a hurricane by Tuesday morning at 2 a.m., working towards a Category 2 storm as we get towards early portions of Wednesday morning. Some models have hinted at rapid intensification with this storm. So although we do have a 2 right here on the map, you can potentially see some changes in that strength forecast going forward, whether that's either weaker or stronger. But with really hot waters in the Gulf of Mexico, low shear, and overall favorable environment, it's something we'll need to keep an eye on very closely as we go throughout the next couple of days. Now, past that, making landfall on Wednesday, then curving up towards the northeast, impacting portions of Georgia and here in South Carolina and North Carolina as we go Wednesday and into Thursday. So let's talk about what we can expect with this system. Right now, there's still really two lines of thought of what can happen. There's still some spread in the models. The first being a more inland track, and then the second being a more coastal track, if not even out at sea, as it continues to work towards the northeast. So you'll see some of the differences here in some of the models, and it does have some pretty big impacts. Track 1 would likely bring us a lot more rain, especially here in the Midlands, and that would bring the concern of some widespread flooding possible, I think, here in the region. A more coastal track and even out to sea would lessen the amount of rain and drastically, especially in portions of the western Midlands and the upstate, where I think we would see a pretty sharp cutoff in some of that heavier precipitation, and it would really keep the biggest impacts out towards our coast. We're still determining to see where models settle with this, so there's going to be some shifts in the forecast over the next couple of days, but let's talk about what we're seeing at least right now. We have a stalled front in the area, and this is why we've been so wet the last 2 days. A lot of showers and storms across the area. It's actually going to play a really important role in the track of this storm and that threat for heavy rain. So you can see over the next couple of days, the chance of showers and storms pretty much every afternoon and evening. We have a 60% chance of rain tomorrow, around a 70 to 80% chance on Tuesday. Here's your hurricane making landfall in portions of Florida, right around the Big Bend region, moving towards the north. This front is very important because it's going to act as a barrier, pretty much squishing out all of the moisture as this tropical system moves north. And where this axis sets up is where we could expect some pretty heavy amounts of rain as we go towards the middle of next week. Now, the good news is by Friday, this storm is long gone. We're looking at cool temperatures. We're looking at dry conditions as we go into next weekend. So a pretty short period here. Looks to be around 48 hours that we'll be dealing with this storm from Florida to the Carolina coast. And past that, we're really looking to look a lot better as you go into next weekend. Of course, rain is going to be the biggest concern right now. Models and the Weather Prediction Center putting around 3 to 5 inches of rain. It is possible this could get higher or lower just depending on how that forecast shifts over the next couple of days, but just giving you a general idea that we are going to be wet over the next really 3 to 4 days as we see showers and storms in the forecast and the potential for tropical weather. So taking a look at what we can expect as you go into your Monday, not as wet as what we see today. So you can see those storms lingering through about midnight on this forecast model. So definitely a wet night here across the Midlands. As you go into tomorrow, we're a little bit cooler, looking at temperatures around 90 in the afternoon. With the best chance of thunderstorm activity, I think really being north of I-20 as we head into your Monday afternoon and evening. I think a little bit less storm coverage than what we're seeing today, but keeping that rain chance around as that stalled front is in place. So for kids heading out to school on Monday, make sure they have the rain gear nearby. We're going to be mild as we start off the day. 76 degrees, partly cloudy skies with that chance of shower and storm activity as you get a little bit later on into the afternoon and evening, around a high of 92, 93, I think, for most of us here in the Midlands as we go into tomorrow. Your 7-day forecast going forward, a high of 92 on Monday with a 60% chance of storms. A little bit cooler on Tuesday with the 89-degree high with an 80% chance of storms in the afternoon and evening. And then you can see temperatures cooling off quite a bit, and that's due to cloud cover and also seeing winds shift out of the northeast associated with the system. So highs only in the 70s with breezy conditions. As for the amount of rain and how much of a breeze we actually see with this, well, that's going to be something we're going to really iron out over the next couple of days. So make sure you're staying posted on air and online. We'll have articles updating you with the latest information from the National Hurricane Center. The good news, and something that we're pretty sure of though, is this system is gone as you go towards the end of next week. And in the weekend, you can see temperatures warming up a little bit, but plenty of sunshine and some pretty dry conditions as you go into next weekend.